So I guess that everybody will be happy here pretty soon now. We all get this epidemic over with. Of course, then they bought some land across the road too, 3 acres, and they're busy figuring on how they're gonna put up a fence and buy some garden equipment. They're gonna grow a garden. I reckon it'll be sight on this earth the way they talk. And they're gonna buy a horse and put in there and put up a barn. It's a right nice piece of land. It's shaped in a pie shape, like a triangle, and it's flat, and it's a little steepy. So they talk some about putting a little pond in maybe down there, and it would look real nice too. So they've all been so busy, I don't know. I wanted to go to Canada, maybe, but we've got some friends up there. Take a vacation and maybe a week off and go up there and visit them. They've been down for the last 10 or 15 years straight, begging us to come up there. And so they come up about a month ago, wanted to come up to Canada for vacation. And I sort of told them if y'all wasn't sick or anything, why, we might go up that way this summer and pay back their visit. I don't know if we're going to get to go or not. Probably about the time my vacation comes up, I'll have to can beans probably and okra, and they swear up and down they're going to get a pickup truck and pedal. A peddler, no. He says he's going to put a sign up down there, vegetables for sale. So I don't know. Well, so much for the gardens, and so much for the cars. I thought you might enjoy hearing about their little deals that they got cooking. I don't know. They've got a garden tractor. It's really actually not a garden tractor. It can be used as a garden tractor. It's a little Cub Scout, and they use it to mow the lawn with. And I don't know whether they're going to try to use it for the garden, but they keep talking like they're going to get some farm equipment. And I don't know where the money's coming from. They just get back here on Sunday and they'll just blow and go on about the stuff they're going to do. And I don't know how they're going to manage to get all this stuff they're talking about. But anyway, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. This singing at the first part of the tape, the first one, is a new song that I found. I've got quite a lot of new songbooks and a lot of new material. I bought 4 different kinds of songbooks here not too long ago, and then he's up in Tennessee, and his cousin gave me another one that I didn't have. So that means I've got 4 or 5 different songbooks now, different ones, and I can go through them and pick out some different songs. This first one on here is called What a Day That Will Be. It's real pretty. I heard it about 3 Sunday nights ago. They asked me to sing at the First Christian Church in Otasso, Tennessee. That's up on the other side of Cleveland, which is about 20 miles from here, maybe, something like that. And then it's about 5 miles on that side of Cleveland. So we went up there one Sunday night for church services, and they've got a nice, pretty church. And they asked me to sing, so I sang How Great Thou Art for them. And Lola said it was really pretty. Said that room really had good acoustics, and said it really sounded good. And so while I was up there, they sang this song that I sang for you this morning. And I thought it was pretty. So I ordered the songbook and learned it. And then the second and third song is just Mary and I singing. And before the tape's over with, I hope that we can get Charlie cornered. He's got an awful good voice. And I want to feature him on a couple songs. And Laura, get us all together. We've got some pretty good material. And we all enjoy singing. We sang some the other night. But it was practicing. So when we get all this stuff under control, well, we'll be putting it on tape, and that'll be the first time you've ever heard Charlie sing, if I can get him on there, which I know he'll be glad to do it. It's just if we can just get together at the right time. There's 3 or 4 he particularly likes to sing, so we'll probably do the ones he likes, and then we'll try to feature some with Lola and Mary. They got awful good voices, and they really enjoy singing. On these 2 that Lola and Mary and I was singing on, you hear some talking in the background. Well, that was Bo reading. He can read anything. I never seen it to beat. He's got his little books he brings home from school. Now, he never picked up a book at school until after Christmas. They didn't even give him a book until after Christmas, and they're teaching this new system called the phonics system. And they sound their words out, and as they sound their words out, they can spell them. And that boy, instead of coming in and talking like any other human being, he comes in and spells his words to us. He'll come in and he'll say H-I-M-O-M, stuff like that. And he spells every word, and big words too. And he can get books down and just read them. And he's just in the 1st grade. He's not even through the 1st grade yet. Anyway, that was him reading in the background, if you wonder what it was. I guess I better tell you about our big tornado that we had here in Dalton. I guess by now, why, you've probably got the paper and seen all of the floods that Chattanooga had, and the big tornado that we had down here. It missed Dalton about 3 miles. Of course, we got the after effects, and we got the effects of the tornado while it was going on. It rained 5 inches in 30 minutes. So you can tell just how much rain we had and how fast and furious it came down. Laura, she was out in it the whole time that it was on. Of course, she didn't know that there was a tornado nearby. She was going to the bank and running around here and running around there. She said she thought she got awful wet when she got out of the car. But she went on about her business and didn't think nothing about it. Of course, Jerry and Marion Bow was the one that had the rough time of it. Mary never listens to the radio, so she didn't know that a bad storm was coming, and so I thought, well, I better give her a call and tell her. So about 2 o'clock I called her and I said, Mary, I believe they're fixing to let school out because there's a tornado coming. She says, oh, I guess I better go up and get Bo. So I said, okay. So a few minutes later, I called back. It was a pouring down the rain, and it was a flooding, and carrying on terrible, and I was worried. And, oh, well, I better call and see if she got back all right. I was at work, so there wasn't no answer. So I got worried, you know. Well, I'll call back in a little while. So about 30 minutes later, or an hour later, about an hour later, I guess, I called back. And little Bo answered the phone, and he said, Grandma, it's just been terrible out here. Said it's been a rain, and they let school out, and Mom was outside having to listen to Dad cuss. I said, well, what in the world's going on out there? And he said, well, said Dad, he's just a-cussing. I said, well, what's he cussing about, Bo? Well, 'cause they called him from work and he had to come and get me. So I finally found out the truth of it was that Mary went up to pick Bo up from school, and some stupid-ass teacher told her that they had sent Bo home on the bus to go home, and Bo would be there in a little while. So Mary come running home, and all this storming was going on, and the water was up over the road about 2 feet. She waited for Bo, and she waited for Bo, and he didn't come. So she called the next door neighbors, and they said, yeah, said, the bus ran 30 minutes ago, but Bo wasn't on it. So she ran back up to the schoolhouse. She didn't know where Bo was. When she got up there, why, he was in the principal's office just crying hysterically. And here come Jerry. And they had called him from the school, and he was out on his route. And they said, Mr. Bandy, will you please come pick up your little boy? He's crying and having hysterics. We can't find your wife anywhere. And that scared Jerry, and he jumped in his car, and the water was already up over the streets about 2 feet. He said he plowed through water. He said he didn't know what kind of shape he was going to find Mary in. He knew that she was always there to pick Bo up. And he thought she was laying dead somewhere. And he heard Bo crying on the telephone when they was a-calling him. And I think that boy like to die before he got to the schoolhouse. And when he got to the schoolhouse and he found Bo there, and he said, what in the hell's going on around here? And Mary said, well, said they told me that Bo was already gone home and to go home, and when I went home, he wasn't there, and I came back and I found him in here crying. Jerry said, who's the stupid son of a bitch that's responsible for this? Mary said, he's right there, he's right there, he's right there. He said, if that bastard don't know how to run a school, by God, he'd better resign. Oh, that embarrassed Mary so bad she just like to die, you know. But Jerry, he really raised Canaan. He was soaking wet from top to bottom, scared to death that something had happened to Mary and Bo. And boy, he just let it fly when he got there at the schoolhouse. The principal come up and told him, said, Jerry, said, I'm awful sorry this happened, said that, but Bo's got a substitute teacher today, and she probably told Mary that Bo was on the bus and didn't really know. And he says, I sure do apologize for it, and I'm really sorry for it. But boy, I tell you, Jerry was a one mad boy there for a while, and I don't blame him. Next day he come over, and I said, Jerry, I believe I'll go up there and tell them what I think about the situation. He said, Mother said, I've already said enough for both of us. I said, well, did you cuss them out and straighten them out? He said, yes, said, if a sorry-ass son of a bitch is a cuss word, he said, I've done said it. I think he'd said enough for both of us, and I didn't say any more. But it was sure a situation here for a while. And next day he come over, and I said, Jerry, I believe I'll go up there and tell them what I think about the situation. He said, Mother said, I've already said enough for both of us. I said, well, did you cuss them out and straighten them out? He said, yes, said, if a sorry-ass son of a bitch is a cuss word, he said, I've done said it. So I figured he'd said enough for both of us, and I didn't say any more. But it was sure a situation here for a while.